CyberBay 2026. What a great event this was here in March in Tampa of 2026. Of course, Arnie Bellini heads this great initiative for Tampa Bay here. The CyberBay 2026 event was excellent. Lots of great attendees, a great mix of attendees, great keynotes, great breakouts, and of course, great vendors. And I was there, had 4 great conversations, wonderful conversations. Sandy Kronenberg started it off. When AI can pretend to be you. Very interesting discussion with Sandy on that. Kat Carroll, really intriguing woman. I really enjoyed our conversation. AI scams are exploding. Are you ready? Very interesting conversations. Then, of course, with Linda Nehan of incredible science, policy, and smart work in a changing world. Do you understand what it means, these policy departments and universities and what they do? I didn't. She sheds great light on it, great insight. Wonderful talking to Linda. And then lastly, Kendra Seiler. Really interesting talking with Kendra, how art, AI, and neuroscience shape the human mind. Really great conversation with Kendra. I wish her well, and thank you all for your time. And thank you for watching and listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word, discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission? How do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision, growth through learning from others. To talk to you.
Yeah, no, well...
So you're a hockey player?
Yes, sir. Just pickup, nothing crazy. It's something I picked up in my 30s.
I was gonna say you don't have the frame, it would seem.
Well, actually, I was in New York, and the great one was standing right next to me, and I was looking down at him, so I didn't realize.
He's not that big. It's a really good point.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky is not that big.
Although all the boys now are huge.
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection, powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza-MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza Dash platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow.
So
they are huge. They're fast. Yeah, it's very different.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Are you Red Wings? You're a Michigan guy.
Yep.
I assume you're Red Wings.
Detroit.
Yeah. It's hockey's in a pretty good state right now after the Olympics, and we have the Lightning here. It gets a lot of follow here in Tampa.
Oh, for sure.
Sure. Plus, they won Stanley Cups. That helps.
Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It really helps. We're here at CyberBay here for the big event. What are some of your goals this week, Sandy?
Just recently learned of it, and we got some investors down here as well as some clients. So I thought it would be a good conference to come to.
Tell me about NetArx.
Yes, sir. So NetArx provides companies an ability to identify social engineering and deepfake attack.
How so?
So, if you think about most cybersecurity incidents, a lot of people think, I need protection with things like firewalls and antivirus and anti-spam, to prevent against phishing attacks. But the truth of the matter is, some people think it's as high as 90%, but most documented cases now, it's showing about 2/3 of all cybersecurity events have a human element. And so the problem isn't the current cybersecurity equipment, technology, software, EDR, all of those things are helpful, but the vast majority of the massive breaches that you've all heard about in the last few years, there's a human element. There was someone who clicked something in an email they shouldn't have. Someone who was convinced that, hey, this was an approval that they received. Just as recently as a few weeks ago, BlackRock had $400 million stolen.
I saw that.
And last year, Ascension, they were taken down by an individual clicking on a phishing email, which allowed just a little bit of an open door for malware to be installed. At some point later, then it elevated to a ransomware attack and took them down and had a $1.5 billion impact on that business.
Amazing.
It affected millions of people, 100 hospitals down for over a month. And what we provide is an ability to protect organizations from those types of attacks.
It would seem to me there's got to be training and mindset there, because if people are clicking on these things haphazardly.
Yeah, so, look, security awareness training is helpful, but asking Bob in accounting to be a human firewall is laughable. It's not a strategy.
Not gonna happen, yeah.
It's dangerous, and the truth of the matter is we need to evolve. And so what we've built is a suite of tools to provide organizations. It's a brand new term, new category. Gartner is now really pushing this new term called Disinformation Security.
Disinformation Security.
So when you think of different categories, you think of virus protection, you think antivirus, you think of firewalls, you think of EDR. This is literally a brand new category that will by 2030 will be a $20 billion category. Disinformation security, and within that includes social engineering, impersonation, and deepfake.
I mean, during the pandemic, we were exposed to was it disinformation?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why they chose that term, is because a layman would understand disinformation, right? Hey, this social media post is real or is it fake? And that's a huge problem right now. You have a lot of people with access to AI tools, and so chief marketing officers now care about disinformation security. So they're interested in brand protection. Is this image of our CEO dancing on a tabletop, right? Is that real or not, right? And so with our tool set, you can determine instantly, is this post real or not? Is this, maybe it's an HR department, and is this driver's license real or not? Or maybe you're on a Teams, a Zoom call, and is this person real or not? And so we provide real-time, multimodal ability to determine if you're talking to a real person or not.
Wow. Disinformation security.
Yeah, so you've heard of two-factor authentication.
Of course.
We're 75 factors right now, and we'll continue to keep growing and adding more and more factors. But in the AI world, we don't call them factors, we call them features. And so those features are not too much different than a physical feature, but a digital feature. Things like your IP address, your email, your tenancy, the encryption schema you're using, the devices you're using, all of those leave a digital fingerprint. And those features, just as I recognize you sitting across from me, are how I would recognize you if you're on the other side of the planet, because we've gotten to a point where people can no longer trust what's on their screen. And the tools that have been built, you get a link in an email and you click on it and it launches the Zoom call. Zoom has had to make it so easy during COVID so that everyone can continue to work and do what's necessary. And so what we've done is basically pulled it back by providing you a visual indication of threat right on your screen. It's a traffic light, red, yellow, green. And so that traffic light, if it's green, it's someone you've worked with often in the past, and whether or not you've had phone calls or text messages or emails with them. And all of those modalities we provide in real time.
What's going to happen with AI in the next 6 months?
Well, it just is continuing to evolve and make people have an ability, I hate to say it, impersonate anyone at a moment's notice. It's shocking just how well it works, and you can use any laptop or computer that's, about $2,500, $3,000 or so. Will have some of the latest NVIDIA chipsets. Those GPUs can render images in near real time that I can grab and use of you, plus maybe 6, 10, 15 seconds of audio, and I will convince anyone that I could be Joe. Pretty much, in it's that simple. A single image and about 10 seconds of audio, and I can do that on pretty much any device.
So that's the future of AI, impersonation.
Absolutely. And so I feel that, you're going to have more and more situations where people are going to be convinced, duped into doing things. And I believe we haven't had that Zoom COVID moment yet, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So a few years ago, we had that MGM outage.
Yeah.
That was someone calling into their help desk and convincing them to reset a password. That resulted in MGM losing about $150 million, all told. Then fast forward, you've got Ascension, which was $1.5 billion. Lazarus stole another $1.5 billion from a crypto company. We're going to see a 10x event this year, or probably within the next 18 months.
And the way to protect against impersonation is what?
So you need disinformation security tools on all forms of communication. And so we've built an ability to provide continuous identity, and so that continuously verifying. You can't just, do it at the border, ATO, and so, account takeovers, if you will, are just not the answer, because there's just no ability to continuously monitor someone with existing tools. You get someone's credentials, they log in, they're in, right? You can't just expect to stay the course and not be exposed.
So we're told to have a password that we can give loved ones that an AI won't be able to determine, so they'll know it's us.
Passwords are dead. Honestly.
Well, maybe not a password, but at least a phrase or something that we can...
Yeah, safe words, right? People often say, we just use a safe word. I'm like, okay, well, that's the same technology people used 3,000 years ago. So I think we can, move on from that.
So the only way to save it is to have these kinds of tools.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical about that.
Well, I think that it needs to be so easy. So for instance, with our platform, when I join a Teams, a Meet, a Zoom call, or I call someone on the phone or I text them, the point is it needs to be seamless and easy and part of just the regular communication. You can't stop and expect someone to type in a 6-digit token code. It's too much friction. So instead, what do? If you're using a disinformation security tool like NetArx, you basically insert our agent or install our app or put the plugin on your device, and at that point, you're protected. You don't have to use it every single time you make a call to someone, but if you're looking for an approval on a few $1 million purchase, you would get that verification, or if you're getting on a Zoom or Teams Meet, it's just seamless. It just automatically connects. So I don't have to do anything, and I'm still protected. So that's the key. It needs to be embedded into your typical workflow.
But when I ask you about the future of AI, 6 months, you go, is there anything positive that's going to happen with AI?
Yeah, there's lots of positive capabilities that, people are using those efficiencies to develop and or to organize, and as alternatives to hiring new people. Yes, there's a lot of positives. But just like anything, there's a lot of power there, and there's going to be a lot of people who use that power in the wrong ways. And some people just go after elderly, and that's a real shame. And so that's the norm, not the exception. When we're seeing, bad guys who get these tools, it's like, hey, what can I use it for? And so fleecing, grandma to send $3,000 because Johnny's in jail and needs to get bail overnight.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, but it happens tens of thousands of times a year, and the FBI can't do anything about it because there's just too many cases. But when you look at organizations and the fact that organizations, especially the defense industry, they're hiring North Korean bad actors already now. Many of them don't even realize it. Many of them don't realize that people are in their networks. Many people don't realize just how much fraud there is. Lawyers, class action lawsuits where we've got a receipt because you bought something and you want to actually receive a claim. A significant percentage of the receipts now that are being filed are AI generated, and so you need to be able to determine, are those real or fake? All of those things fall under disinformation security.
Are you optimist or cynic?
Total optimist.
Doesn't sound like it, Sandy.
No, well, that's why I built NetArx. So we can defend people and defend organizations, and so we've built the tool set to protect people.
But isn't there ways that AI can be used against negative actors? Just natively?
Yes, and companies like NetArx or Flock or, organizations that are leaning on what was traditional technology. We're not doing anything crazy and inventing anything new. We're taking all these existing forms of encryption and communication tools, and we're just putting an additional layer on top of it in order to be able to provide that information to organizations in real time. No different than, I use Flock as an example. I was just watching a Cheeky Pint episode with the founder of Stripe, and they're just looking at license plates in real time to give that information to law enforcement to get the bad guys super quick. And so those are the answers. Those are the ways with which to provide that real-time information to protect against bad actors using AI to enhance their social engineering and or their crimes.
What if discipline wasn't about punishment, but about unlocking your best self? I spent 2.5 years writing Discipline for Greatness because discipline changed my life. And I know it can change yours too. This isn't theory. Inside, you'll find real, practical steps you can use immediately to focus better, build stronger habits, reduce stress, accomplish your goals, and bring more balance to your life. Whether you're trying to get healthier, improve your career, or simply feel more control, this book gives you the framework. Start today. Grab your copy of Discipline for Greatness at joeypinz.com/book. Thank you.
In practical use, somebody gets a call saying, "Hey, send me some money. I'm your dad."
Yes.
And so then they would say, "Well, tell me what the name of my friend was on the soccer team when I was a kid."
All of that information is available. It's
Really?
creepy. You just watched a mentalist on stage
I
here
did.
at CyberBay, and he's able to just pick up on cues. But AI is so much more powerful to be able to be convincing. And I don't have to give you the answer right away. I can continue the conversation by bringing up other things. Most people are easily warped and modified into a different thread because you don't want to be rude. People are trusting inherently. And so as long as I know enough about you to convince you that you are as who you think I am, right? So it's not that hard. If I hold on 1 second, I dropped my phone, or let me connect to my earbuds. Like those are daily comments that we make to each other to buy ourselves a few minutes or seconds while I'm looking something up.
Interesting.
Right? And so social engineering is very easily done, but the days of the Nigerian prince are over.
Right.
You don't have a single email that someone actually responds to. It's usually much more organized and concerted and choreographed on multiple modalities. So you will get an email. That email was actually probably some mail merge with some database that put a couple of interesting things that they were able to find out about you on LinkedIn And this is an attack vector, the kill chain that we've seen a number of times with a number of organizations we protect. And we see an invoice and an email from an executive sending to the accountant, hey, pay this invoice for $65,000. And it even has a phone number to call or an email or attachments.
Amazing.
And people do. They call that number. They immediately see the caller ID and they know exactly who it is. They answer it and have that exact, oh, tell me the invoice number. Let me look it up. And you know, I see that you've got this PDF wrong. Oh, it's a W-9. Please modify. That's not our corporate type. Oh, sure. And they respond. They give a brand new artifact. We've now crossed from verbal and phone calls, email domains, physical attachments now. I've got my PDF. Sorry, virtual or digital attachment.
Sure.
I've got a PDF. All of those things are fake.
Amazing.
And so, you know, the ability to convince someone now is pretty impressive.
Where's quantum going to take us?
Great question. So that's the next, and many of our accounts are now starting to ask for quantum, and so basically what that is essentially is an ability to provide a zero knowledge proof that your solution can protect against quantum compute when we reach a point, maybe it's a few thousand qubits, maybe it's 1 million qubits, where current encryption like AES 256 can no longer withstand, you know, brute force attacks, and you'll be able to effectively with a quantum computer render that in clear text within minutes or hours or a few days. And so yes, our platform is actually secured with blockchain technology. And so we use a blockchain signature service with which to confirm the device that you're using is in fact that device. We lock it into the TPM on that laptop or the UUID on that phone. And so the way in which we continuously verify you are who you say you are using that device is through blockchain. We're using Ethereum wallets right now.
Wow.
And we can upgrade that wallet to a ZKP to provide that zero knowledge proof and be post-quantum. And so many banks and financial institutions are asking that of us and saying, hey, can you do that? And we say, sure, whatever chain you want.
Fascinating. Is there something, Sandy, that you believed in steadily, firmly 10 years ago that you no longer believe?
My first Bitcoin was at $22, so I'm pretty much a big fan of things like, I call myself a near futurist, not really a long time. So good question. Honestly, yeah, I did not believe AGI, for instance, was achievable before singularity. You know, Ray Kurzweil saying 2045.
Sure.
I think we're probably going to get there sooner. The track
singularity. So humans, technology.
Yeah, AI reaching a point where it is more advanced than humanity as a whole.
Right.
And so we are starting to plateau, if you will, with the advancement on all of these AI models, LLMs. They're still impressive and they're still, you know, dramatically improving life. I mean, look at the latest Claude versions and how people are vibe coding together whole platforms. It's impacted software companies and automation, not so much cybersecurity in the near term, but I think there will be another few innovations in the next 5 or 10 years that will reach that singularity point probably a little sooner.
Wow. So, yeah, because he did say 45, didn't he?
I think that was the year.
Yeah, Kurzweil said 45.
Yeah. And he's been pretty spot on, but I think this one, I think it may happen a little bit earlier than expected. You know, we all didn't quite appreciate Demis with DeepMind and or the Google Transformer paper in 2017. It truly changed the world, right? It just truly changed the world.
It really did.
Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypins.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it.
So, Sandy, I started my tech firm back in the 90s, and I was working way too hard. You're no stranger to this, 14, 16-hour days.
Yes, sir.
Putting my health in the back seat and not working out anymore. And next thing I know, I'm in front of the doctor. She tells me I'm at 340 pounds.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So I gained all this terrible amount of weight. I knew I was getting big, didn't know I was that big. But she tells me if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. My daughter was just born.
Wow.
Scared the life out of me.
Driving
home, punching the steering wheel. You know, this is my pie hole. I did this myself.
Yes.
The decisions I make are not just about me anymore. Spent the next 6-7 months, lost about 120 pounds, kept it off. Can't look at this as like a finishing line, right? These are lifelong changes you have to make.
Yeah.
When I tell people this story, they always say, what's your secret? What you do? And I always just say discipline, Sandy. I say
100%.
Focus, motivation, routine. How does discipline play a role in your life?
It's a huge part, and it's everything from the scale that I have that I look and make sure that I am the same weight that I was in the last 25 years.
Yeah, you look good.
But no, look, I mean, I started my IT services business in my 20s, which morphed into an MSP. I exited that in 2011, but you're absolutely right. You're at a pace where I'm just drilling through Diet Mountain Dews all day long. And so I realized that I was getting a fluorescent sunburn, and so I needed to change. I could no longer eat whatever I wanted, and so I picked up tennis. Within a year or two, every joint hurt. My elbows, my knees, my wrists, everything was just in pain. And so one day, a bunch of the guys I work with in one of my other offices was, hey, we're going to go play hockey. And so fell in love with it. So started playing ice hockey in my 30s and never felt better.
Wow.
And so there's not any of the joint pain. Again, this is pickup, not leagues. Leagues, some guys, it's a beer league.
Take it a little too seriously.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But in pickup, I play on Thursday nights and Sunday nights, and there are folks who are 18, 19, 20, all the way through 75, 76, 77 years old. And I'll swear to you, it is fantastic.
Wow.
There's an occasional collision, there's an occasional accident, but for the most part, it's not the trauma to your joints like running on a hard court is. When you're on ice, you know, you come to a stop.
Interesting.
And if you think about it, it's not this violent end of motion.
Right.
All this kinetic energy just stop. Right. And in hockey, you come to a hockey stop. You're sliding to a stop, right? And so if you think about that,
that's a really good point.
It's a lot less violent on your joints.
Yeah, because it's not as abrupt.
Yeah, and you'll burn more calories doing that than anything else. And, you know, look, all of us need someone to push them. And so that's why people hire coaches, whether it be in the office place or working out. And, hey, I've got my Pilates coach or my, I'll do free weights with this coach. And so you don't need a coach when you're playing hockey. There's 20 other guys who are yelling at you, go hard or get off the ice. And so you are, and it's the ultimate hit, the high intensity type of training, in the fact that you are, let's say it's a 90-minute skate, you are on the ice half the time going 100%, and then you're sitting on the bench waiting for your turn again. So you spend 45 minutes 100% and then 45-0. So it's on, off, And so I think it's
pretty good.
Fantastic in every respect, whether it's cardio, endurance, whether it's strength, core, everything. So super fan of hockey.
So I too started my tech firm in the 90s and it morphed into an MSP, and I sold it in 2019. So what experience do you get from running the MSP to running a vendor now, kind of being on the dark side?
Great question. Yeah, no, I went over to the other side.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, as an MSP, as
managed service provider.
Yeah, please. We should be clear, right? So as an MSP or managed service provider, we provided services to many Fortune 500 companies and down. And you know, you're owning their environment, and there were a lot of stressful Friday night, Saturday, you know, type of cutovers and all of the implementation and monitoring management. It's a beast. Nowadays, I think the tools that are available to MSPs are amazing, things that we never had to standardize and provide that level of security, but it's needed now in this day and age with the level of automation and a potential for attacks. And so that's why I'm now on the other side is because of the fact that, yes, now, you know, MSPs have some of these tools, but I didn't see anyone develop a tool set for the 8th layer, you know, the OSI 7-layer model, right? Where the physical layer is layer 1, presentation, what you see on your screen is layer 7. There's no one who's developing a tool for layer 8, the human. And so human defense is the problem. And so that's what I decided to do and focus on. I had started a private equity firm with a partner. My partner and I, Rob, were sitting there at lunch, and it was with a mid-market lender, and he answers his phone, and I see the blood drain out of his face. And I'm like, are you okay? And he says, we just were a victim of wire transfer fraud. Wow. And so that evening was I started writing the first patent for NetArx. And because I realized the world needs this. But more importantly, it's not just that the world needs this, it's that the world needs this from someone you can trust, someone who is domestic, someone who actually cares, because whoever has the keys of that kingdom, that's scary and can make changes. And so you need to make sure that this capability can protect organizations and that you can hold the owners of that company accountable. So it's a big concern, it's a big risk, and it's a little scary, but it's a huge task. It's way more complicated than I had thought. If you had asked me a few years ago, are you going to go down this rabbit hole and how hard is it going to be? I'm like, creates a couple of inference models and then build some enterprise tool sets, and it's wildly complicated because you can't just protect one mode or one modality, right? You have to protect everything. And what do I mean by that? As an example, right? You're on any given week, you're not just on a Teams call, you're on a Teams, a Meet, a Zoom, a WebEx, right? You're on 2 out of the 4 almost daily, right? And so we need to protect all of those. But you need to also protect every browser. So you're using Chrome, you're using Edge, you're using Safari, right? And then you need to protect Android and iOS and the list doesn't stop. And it's just, you have to protect all of those things. And it's any form of communication, because someone is out of country and they reach out to you on WhatsApp, right? And that happens, or Signal or Slack. And so you can't possibly protect every single tool of every different form of communication. And so you need to be multimodality and have that awareness.
So, I mean, half the challenge is this new concept of disinformation security is trying to explain as to what it is.
That's the biggest. My biggest competitor. My biggest competitor is ostriches. People putting their heads in the dirt, like they just, it's not a problem, and I'm like. And the real sad truth is a lot of organizations know it's happening, but it's not enough on the balance sheet And only until it is enough of a problem, or there's some compliance change, because that's happening now too. There are compliance requirements for social engineering. How is your organization blocking or preventing social engineering attacks? And so a lot of people don't have an answer, and we are the answer. It's an enterprise tool set that most organizations can use, especially like finance, banking, HR, marketing, compliance, CISOs.
Great pleasure talking with you, Sandy. Anybody listening, watching, how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, well, just go to netarx.com. That's NETARX.
NETARX.com.
Yeah, and reach out, say hi, and we'd love to help.
Thanks for coming today. Enjoy the show.
Fantastic. Well,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.